This is Mike with Wichita Falls Reptile Rescue, and who we have here is Pancho. He is a mature male green iguana. He's approximately 10 years of age, and he is one of our most recent rescue intakes. And although I would consider him a moderately sized male, he's certainly not the largest male iguana that I've ever worked with. And he also does not have the worst attitude I've ever worked with, or as I like to say, Iggy-tude. He's not the worst case I've ever dealt with, but he is a mature male, and these are powerful animals. And so any Iggy-tude from them, they can be a danger to their handlers. They can deliver a pretty significant bite. They have very powerful jaws. Small teeth, because they are herbivores, but their teeth are very sharp, and they do have powerful jaws, and these are powerful and can be very fast animals, and so they can do you significant damage if they get a hold of you. And so often when we take these animals into rescue, they require some socialization, because an iguana is an animal that if you do not socialize them thoroughly to captivity, they can quickly develop this socialization attitude and be aggressive toward their handlers. They're social animals, and they can be very territorially aggressive, especially the mature males or an alpha female. And so I'll just show you here real quick what I'm talking about. He's doing his little head bobbing display here, and that's how iguanas communicate to each other. That I'm the alpha in this territory, and don't mess with me. And that's what he's saying here, and he's gaping his mouth, threatening to bite. And if he got a chance, I'm sure he would put a pretty painful bite on me. And I'm pretty cautious with my newest volunteer here, who's I've been teaching her some of these issues, and she has small fingers, small feminine hands, and I believe that Pancho, if he actually got a hold of one of her fingers, he could probably break her finger. He's that powerful. He's bitten his. When I was putting his food dish in one day, he bit it and broke the corner off of it just like it was nothing. And so we want to be cautious of that. And this socialization here can take quite a while, depending on the individual animal. It can take many months. It can take a year or more, just depending on the animal. One of the last iguanas with a really bad Iggy-tude that I had to socialize, she was actually an abuse case, where not only was she neglected and kept caged all of her life, one of the prior keepers, the husband of the man of the house, was abusive to her, and actually would slap her around and kick the aquarium that they had kept her in. So she had a pretty bad attitude, and it took me about 9 or 10 months to rehab her, but I got her rehab down pretty good here. But what we do is we just interact with them daily and socialize them through interaction with people, allow them a lot of out of the cage time. We try not to keep them confined very long. They have to be confined at certain periods. We feed them in their cage, and they're allowed to, they sleep in their cage and they bask in their cage, but on warm days I'll take them to bask outside, or they can walk around in one of the living spaces in the house where there's significant sunshine coming through the windows, and they like to climb up on the window sills or bask on the floor, kind of splay out on the floor in the sunshine. And we just do a lot of handling with them. and that generally seems to be the key, is just you socialize them to that handling, and over time they generally will start to become more social towards the persons, more tolerant of having people in close interaction with them. And so that's going to have to happen before we can find a home for Pancho, because we don't want to pass any animal along to an adopter that could be a danger to them. And we certainly don't adopt out any iguanas to persons who do not have previous iguana experience. Like I said, these are large growing reptiles. They are very powerful. They can be very aggressive. You got to keep up with this socialization. It's not something you can just get them to the place you want them and then stop. If you do that, they're going to revert back to this wild nature. And so someone who has kept iguanas in the past, significant experience with an iguana, they're going to know what they're getting into and know the dangers and what's required. That these are demanding animals. They require a lot of space. They require a lot of interaction. And so someone who's been through that before is going to have a much better idea of what to expect. And I don't want to adopt out one of these iguanas and then have somebody 3 months down the road telling me I need to take it back because they just really didn't know what they were getting into, or they had been bitten and someone was hurt significantly. And that can happen with iguanas, certainly. So unfortunately, when we do get them, a lot of times they just end up staying here with us, almost a refuge, a sanctuary case, because I'm very selective on adopters, and it can be hard to find someone who actually has that level of experience that we're looking for. We have a lot of people that want to adopt babies, want to know if we have baby turtles, baby iguanas. That obviously appeals to people, just like they want a kitten or a puppy. But having the larger animal, that so much doesn't appeal to them. So that's another a drawback to having them in rescue, is that frequently people just don't want them. And so they kind of get stuck in rescues like this, which is fine. We will keep Pancho and the others as long as they need to be here. It just sometimes limits the amount of other animals that we can provide space for, and I like to keep enough space around here for taking in injured wild reptiles. That's really what I want to specialize in, maintain a specialization in, is bringing in an injured wild reptile that doesn't have anybody to care for it. And then it can be difficult when we take these large domestic iguanas in, but I don't like seeing them going to shelters where when you have one particularly like Pancho here with a little bit of an attitude, they may be seen as not adoptable by some larger shelters, and just like a dog, they may be euthanized. And so I don't like to see that, because they can be rehabilitated. It just unfortunately it can take quite a while. It's even longer than sometimes socializing a dog. And so that's just the nature of reptiles. And show his little head bobbing display there again. And like I said, pound for pound, these guys can be just as territorial, just as aggressive as a crocodile, and you'd be surprised how fast they can be when they want to be. So, but we'll just continue to work with him as long as we need to, and he has only been here about a month, so no big deal. We've got plenty of time to work with him, and we will just update you on his progress as we have something to update. And if you want to learn more, I've got the website at wichitafallsreptilerescue.webs.com, and our Facebook page is facebook.com/reptilerescue.